Business Finance Revision. This video can be used in one whole go, or it can be used over 12 different days where you can complete one question each day. This video will show you the question and the answers. You will need to pause the video at the end of each question and then unpause to see the suggested answers. Question 1. State two types of payment card. So the answers that I have given are debit and credit card. However, any valid answer would be accepted. So you could have a prepaid card, a store card, a charge card, reward cards, for example, or a contactless card. They'd all be valid answers. So question 2. State two disadvantages to the holder of using premium bonds as a form of savings and investment. So you can see there that I've given you some. So question 3. Explain two features of a credit union. So you can see there that in question 4. Identify two types of revenue income for a small business. So the answers that I've gone for are cash sales and rental received from renting out spare building space. However, you could potentially have. Question 5. State two types of intangible non-current assets. So the answers I've gone for are trademark and patent, but you could have had goodwill, you could have had copyright, you could have had customer loyalty, you could have had brand name, logos, reputation, company name, all valid answers that would have been acceptable. Question 6. Calculate the inventory turnover. So you would have picked up 1 mark if you've actually correctly written out the formula, which is average inventory divided by the cost of sales times 365. And if you then use the correct number, so you've used your opening inventory of 1160 and added to that your closing inventory of 162. And then you divided that by 2, you would have found your average inventory is 661. And then you would have done 661 divided by the cost of sales, which you've got there as 39,586. And that would have given you 6 days. And if you've got that answer, you get it correct. If you actually did get the 6 days at the end, that would get you all the marks as well. Question 7. Calculate the current ratio. So you will get 1 mark if you correctly written the formula out, current assets divided by current liabilities. Your second mark would come from correctly identifying the current asset. So you would have picked out that you've got your closing inventory, you've got your cash, and you've got your money in the bank that you need to add together here. And you need to divide them by your current liabilities. Notice in this business there are no trade receivables. Trade receivables remain people who owe you money, typically a current asset, but there is 0 in this case. Right. If you did that, you'll get the answer 0.9, and if you express it as a ratio 0.9 to 1, that shows you this business has got 90 pence in assets to every £1 in current liabilities. So it's working out the liquidity position of the business. Okay, question 8. Calculate the profit margin. So you would get 1 mark for doing profit divided by revenue times 100. Remember, this will be your net profit or your profit for the year in this case here. So 5667 divided by your sales, which obviously is the other word for revenue, 94,400, and then multiply by 100 and you get the answer 6%. Question 9. Calculate the total annual fixed costs for making the sandwiches. So in this question here, it's one which requires you to rearrange a break-even formula. However, you would get 1 mark for writing out the break-even formula. So fixed cost divided by the selling price minus the variable cost per unit. Or otherwise known as your fixed cost divided by your contribution per unit. So in this case here, we don't actually know the fixed cost, but we do know that we can solve our first part of this equation. We know that our selling price is £3.80, and we know that our variable cost is going to be 50 pence plus 40 pence plus 20 pence. In other words, we're left with £3.80 minus £1.10. That gives a total contribution of £2.70. So we now know that our break-even point is 3,500. We don't know our fixed cost, but we need to divide it by £2.70. So to get rid of the division, we do a multiplication. So 3,500 multiplied by the £2.70 gives us £9,450. I have got a video on how to do this, which will be linked above in the video to help. Question 10. Calculate the total annual revenue that selling 70 sandwiches a week would generate the business. So quite simply, you would do £3.80 multiplied by 70 because they sell 70 a week. And then you would multiply this by 52, which would tell you the overall revenue they're going to generate, which would be £13,832. Question 11. Complete the cash flow. So you need to work your way through these in logical order. So if you're trying to find the missing coffee figure, you know the total outflow. So if you take away all your other outflows from that, you'll be missing and you'll find 726. Again, your opening balance would be 846. The way you would work that out is that you know that your net cash flow is 1,839, and you know that your closing balance is 2,685. Take the numbers away and you'll find your missing number. Your total outflows for part 3 is easily calculated by adding together your wages, your coffee, your other inventory and your other outflows. And you would be able to calculate the sales revenue at the top because you know that your total inflows are 7,130. You've got 180. Take that away from that number and your missing number is 6,950. Your net cash flow, as you should know, will be your opening. So your net cash flow will be your total inflows minus your total outflows. So 7,130 minus 4,578. Which should give you 2,552. And your closing balance will be calculated at the bottom by doing your opening balance plus your net monthly. So 6,926 plus 4,448. And question 12. You can see here in question 12, you need to make some amendments and obviously finish off the statement of comprehensive income. So firstly, you need to work out your closing inventory, which is done quite simply. If you remember your formula to work out cost of goods sold, it's opening inventory plus purchases less your closing inventory. So you need to do 39,664 plus 162. And then you need to take that away from your 39,612 and you would find the missing number of £214 for your closing inventory. Your gross profit was calculated quite simply by doing your revenue take away your cost of goods sold, which was, in other words, was 101,500 minus 39,612. The lease of the shop premises was actually a prepayment, so it was relating to a different period. They actually had paid £18,000, but you were told that £3,000 was in advance, so you needed to take that away, which would give you £15,000. And regarding the wages, you needed to find a 4% increase for the last 6 months of this to make it £19,584. And finally, a really simple calculation you had to finish with. It was your gross profit take away your total expenditure. So 61,888 take away 40,440, which gives you £21,448. And there you go. You have completed successfully the financial statement of comprehensive income. Well done. If you got that question right, you would have picked up all the marks, and you have now completed all the questions in this series.